to call somebody.
What you gonna do?
I am CM Punk, and I am the voice of the voiceless.
You're making me crazy. Yeah!
Hello everyone, Scott Hamilton here, your host for the Wrestling's for Real podcast, coming to you each and every week to report on the week that was in professional wrestling. We get a lot to talk about this week, as we do each and every week. We're only a few short days away from the Royal Rumble, but the big news coming out of this week is WWE.com announced on Tuesday after Raw that Evan Bourne has been suspended for the second time for violation of his wellness policy. This comes as a shock. It's only been about, I think, 3 weeks since Bourne has been back from his first suspension, so I really don't know what's going on with this kid. Rumor has it that he may be trying to get himself fired. I don't know if he just is having a problem. I hate to see it. Bourne's a great talent, and I think he hasn't been used to his full potential yet in the WWE, so I don't really know what's going on. I mean, he could end up going to TNA. I could see they could really just build the entire X Division around this guy, but I don't know if that's what he's looking for. I hope that Evan gets his stuff together and makes his return. And like I said, we get a lot to talk about today. We're headed towards the Royal Rumble in a few days. One of the most anticipated events every year. I'm looking forward to it. It's always been one of my favorites. But there's no way to get there but go through Raw first. Monday Night Raw comes to you this week from Anaheim, California, and is brought to you by I got home just in time to find out that my DVR was not recording Raw and managed to salvage the entire show. This almost destroyed my whole night. Anyway, we open with the traditional Martin Luther King Jr. tribute, because, WWE is always very topical with their openings anytime there's any sort of national holiday. But we really open with everyone's favorite returning hardcore legend, Mick Foley, heads to the ring. Foley gets in the ring and says how the fans have been good to him. He references the John Cena "This Is Your Life" segment, which garners instant boos. I was in Boston for that one. It was funny, but it was terrible at the same time. It was one of those things that was like so terrible it was good. Says how everyone wants to enter the Rumble. Foley wants in on the Rumble. Everyone figured that he'd probably be in it anyway. Personally, I would kind of like to see him pull out the three faces of Foley again. I thought that was a pretty neat spot when he did that a few years back. I'd like to see it again. I think it would save us from having to sit through, your Heath Slaters, your Jinder Mahals, and David Atungas. I know people don't want Foley to take up three spots, but there's my justification for it. Anyway, so Foley says he wants the chance to get in the ring so his younger kids, who were too young to know what was going on when he was finishing up, the main part of his career, they didn't really get a chance to see him in the ring. He wants to show them what, his dad used to do for a living. It's pretty cool story. It makes him look kind of weak considering all the, the Yokohama death matches he had and all the exploding bomb matches with Terry Funk. But anyway, so this brings out Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph is just one of the best on the mic right now. This kid is got future world champion right all over him. I mean, I know he technically did hold the belt for about a day or whatever it was. Well, I don't think he's going to hold the belt at the Rumble, but I think within the next year or so you could see this kid with the title. But like I said, Ziggler is just really one of the best on the mic, and here's a little example of that.
Yes!
Mick, I know you've been doing stand-up comedy, and I actually even went to one of your shows. I watched you try. And if this is one of your skits or one of your bits or whatever, I get it. It's funny. But if it's not, your shot in the Royal Rumble would go something just like this. Yay! Our daddy's in the Royal Row! He's over the top rope. Well, our life's complete. Back to school to get beat up. Hope Dad didn't eat our lunches again. That's it.
No, that's good. That's good. And you know what the truth is?
I can't believe that you're out here right now. I can't think of that when I win that Royal Rumble match and I defeat CM Punk at the Rumble and become the WWE Champion. I can't think of a bigger letdown at WrestleMania if by some miracle you were to win that Royal Rumble match and I was forced to defend my WWE Championship against an out-of-shape, has-been, was never that good to begin with, glorified stuntman, walking punchline that you are! You didn't just come here to make 2 points, Mick. You came here to make one more. You came here to make a fool out of yourself one last time. And for once in your entire career, you succeeded. So I'm going to tell you this as straight as I possibly can, Mick. It's over. Go home. Buy a new shirt, eat a salad, and just go away!
And this raises the ire of the WWE Champion, as you can hear. CM Punk is on his way to the ring, and I just want to take a second to say that the rest of the entire WWE roster could learn a thing or two about promos from listening to CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Dolph Ziggler. These guys, I think, are the best three on the mic right now, and I don't want to hear anyone say, "Oh, what about John Cena?" F John Cena, okay? Anyway, and Punk comes to the ring, and this is what's really missing in this business, always has been, is the believability. Punk comes to the ring, he's in shorts and a sweatshirt. He's not coming out shirtless in his underwear. He's not hanging out back in his trunks and no shirt for no good reason. It's just one of those things that just boggles my mind. Guys always come out for interviews and come out for this, that, the other thing with no shirt on. It just doesn't make any sense to me that guys are hanging out back all day with no clothes on. But I mean, whatever. Like I said, I'm not the promoter. So anyway, Punk gets in the ring and has this to say.
We've earned everything we've achieved, unlike, somebody who wears fake eyelashes, who spray tans, puts highlights in his hair. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about the cross-dressing poor excuse for a special guest referee and vice president of talent relations, interim Raw general manager, Johnny Nobody Gives a Crap About Me Laurinaitis.
This in turn brings John Laurinaitis to the stage. John Laurinaitis tells Mick Foley that he's taking his request for the Royal Rumble into consideration, waits about 2 seconds, and says, "Okay, thought about it, no." Vicky Guerrero then proceeds to laugh maniacally in Mick Foley's face, at which the segment just simply ends. We go out back. We find Air Boom walking backstage to the ring for the rematch with Primo and Epico. And I said last week how Air Boom had lost the tag titles at a house show in Oakland the night before to Primo and Epico. So here's the big rematch. I don't understand why they did it at the house show, but we find out the next day why, but I still don't know why. I said at the top of the show, Evan Bourne was suspended on Tuesday. Now, I don't understand why, if you're going to wait till Tuesday to suspend the guy, why didn't you just have them drop the titles on Raw? I mean, whatever. I guess they want to boost house show attendance and give the atmosphere that anything can happen at these things, but still, I don't know why. And the tag team scene just continues to be terrible. We go to the ring. Both teams have teleported. This match only lasts a few minutes. The finish is Evan Bourne up top going for the shooting star press. Kofi gets thrown into a post on the floor, which distracts Bourne, gets knocked off the top, backstabber, pin, champs retain. And I guess, see you later, Evan Bourne. Rumor has it that he may not be back. Then we switch to a backstage segment. We find John Laurinaitis sitting in his office. Dave Otunga walks in and says, "Hey, you know who was here?" Which brings in Chris Jericho, Smiling Jericho. Laurinaitis tells him that tonight he'll be in a 6-man tag team main event, which will be Jericho's first match in a year and a half. Jericho says nothing, turns the lights out, turns his jacket on, puts his arms out, and smiles. Friggin' hilarious. We come back from break. We get a commercial for Sin City SmackDown this week. They will be in Las Vegas with the roulette wheel. Even though it wasn't advertised, I guess it's just implied every time you go to Vegas now that we're going to have the wheel. We find Zack Ryder and Eve Torres backstage. Zack's ribs are taped, and they're saying that Ryder is not cleared. But he's going to go to the ring anyway, and he will not forfeit. He's got his U.S. title match coming up. Says he will not forfeit the title, and hopefully Kane won't try to pull him into his rape hole again. Speaking of which, we get a recap from last week with Cena, Kane, and Ryder in the infamous loading dock. God, that was awful. I still am beside myself with... This was on par and possibly worse than the 2007 spot where Jeff Hardy did a swanton off of the top of the truck, and you could see them pulling the crash mat away as he tried to cover Umaga. Just terrible. So we come back from break. We go to the ring. We have our U.S. title match. Zack Ryder defending against Jack Swagger. This match goes 3 to 4 minutes. 2 power bombs, and Jack Swagger wins. I'm totally disgusted. Why does Jack Swagger have the title? They're upset about ratings and they want to blame Zack Ryder. Do you really think for 1 second that if you put Jack Swagger with this belt, he's going to get ratings? I don't think so. I just don't get it. I thought they would have done something where if they were going to get the belt off of Ziggler, maybe they wanted to have Swagger win it in a triple threat. I'm glad they gave it to Ryder. I don't think it was his time to lose. Hopefully he's going to come back and as soon as they're done with this awful storyline. And I had in my notes that Ryder has worked way too hard to be in a storyline with that hooker Eve Torres. So anyway, we come back from another break, and Zack Ryder's in the trainer room getting his ribs checked out. Laurinaitis comes in and says that he's sorry, says Zach wasn't cleared to wrestle, says my bad. Eve starts to get all upset with Laurinaitis, and Laurinaitis proceeds to tell Eve to shut her mouth, and I instantly become a fan of John Laurinaitis. This was great. We go to the ring, and we have a guest ring announcer, Perez Hilton, whoever this guy is, some kind of blogger. He gets boozed the second he comes out. We have this horrible Divas match. So this guy's the guest ring announcer. Kelly and Alicia Fox versus the Bellas. And I have in my notes again, where the F is Beth Phoenix? The champ has not been on TV for weeks. I don't know what's going on. Whatever happened to the 30-day rule with the titles, by the way? I missed that. You had to defend championships at least once every 30 days. They don't talk about that anymore. Ever since in 93, when Hogan took off with the belt before he dropped it to Yokozuna, he was out a couple of months, I think. But anyway, that's neither here nor there right now. Bellas go for Twin Magic. Perez stops them. Kelly wins. Alicia Fox never tags in. Sigh for the Divas division. Then we got an update on AJ's murder by Big Show. We come back from break, and we got your Royal Rumble 92 recap where Ric Flair wins the WWF Championship. This was phenomenal. This was one of the best Rumbles. You had more stars in this than anything. I miss Rumbles like that. Then R-Truth makes his way out to the ring and is interrupted by Wade Barrett wearing his brand new diarrhea green trunks. Truth asks Barrett why he's so angry and proceeds to show him his slideshow of going to Disneyland.
Why so mad, Wade? Is it all right if I call you Wade? Wade, don't what me. Okay, what me? Wade, we run across the street from the happiest place on earth. Disneyland. I'm gonna tell you. I say I'm gonna tell you. You see the last one I met, Pinocchio? He told me that you was gonna win the Royal Rumble match, and look what happened. I don't even know if that's PG.
And if you missed this segment on Raw, do yourself a favor and YouTube it, because you really need the visuals of the pictures of the slideshow and Pinocchio's nose growing and R-Truth's face in the picture. It is hilarious. And this is another guy who's really good at the mic. I love R-Truth's work. I've said it before. I love that he stayed crazy. And he's starting to embrace the what chant that the fans have been hitting him with for the last year. You know, saying, don't what me, okay, what me. It's just great. In the comment, I don't even know if that's PG. R-Truth is just always on. Miz comes out of the crowd to attack Truth, which brings out Sheamus, which brings out Teddy Long, who then declares a straight-up over-the-top rope challenge. Lord knows you can't be without all your top rope challenges, over-the-top rope challenges right before the Royal Rumble. And why does Teddy Long need to keep showing up on Raw and make decisions of authority? This is Raw. I know it's Raw Super Show, but we don't need endless people coming out and making matches. Anyway, long story short, Truth wins the over-the-top rope challenge. Then we go out backstage to find that John Cena is pissed off at John Laurinaitis about Zack Ryder losing the title? Why does Cena think it's his mission to fix everything that happens and right every wrong? It's not. Cena does not need to be in multiple segments. Cena does not even need to be on the show. He just aggravates me. Anyway, so even from backstage, you can hear the classic Cena chant in the arena. This "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." Laurinaitis says, "All right, you want to do something about it, then you can have a match with Swagger next." And Cena leaves, and Laurinaitis is continuing to text on his phone. Why is he always texting? What? I will probably rant on this till the day he stops doing this, but I don't understand why he needs to be constantly texting. He's probably not even his phone, is the funny thing. We come back from break, and Jack Swagger's already in the ring. Cena rushes the ring, proceeds to beat the bejesus out of Swagger. The match never actually starts. And I know they're just continually trying to turn this, tease this Cena heel turn to no end while he's in this feud with Kane, where he's supposedly supposed to be embracing the hate. Cena beats the crap out of Swagger with the steps because he's a face. Kane's pyro and music hits. Kane doesn't come out, but you hear him on the mic. He just tells Cena that, by the time that he's done with him, he will have embraced the hate. They're trying to tease the Cena heel turn, fine, but I don't get the logic. You have a guy that won a championship 20 minutes ago, and you put a huge beat down on him, basically rendering that title worthless and making the wrestler himself worthless. The logic, the lack of logic, continues to amaze me. We come back from break, and it's the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay versus JTG. And this is what kills me, is that now that Brodus Clay is out here in this gimmick, guys that usually don't get a chance to be on Raw or SmackDown that much are on these shows just so they can job out to Brodus Clay in a minute. And that's what happens here. That's all I have written down, is that the match went a minute and Clay hits the Funkit, his dreaded cross body block, for the 1, 2, 3. And the only other note I have written down is ass jiggle. Brodus Clay starts dancing in his gross ass jiggle. We get a Big Show murdered AJ recap, followed by Daniel Bryan coming to the ring and proclaims that he's going to dedicate his match on SmackDown to AJ. And next up is the big 6-man tag main event. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Chris Jericho versus Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, and Dave Otunga. And I'm positive that everything's going to be on the up and up, and nothing is going to happen here. Basically, points of interest in this match. Jericho tags in and plays up to the crowd, gets them to cheer for him, runs back and forth, getting different sides of the ring to cheer for him, tags out and leaves. Doesn't take a bump, doesn't have any offense, doesn't touch anybody. Tags out and leaves. And Daniel Bryan's face is classic. He just can't even believe what just happened. He has no idea where Jericho's going or why he's going. And Jericho proceeds to walk up the ramp going, "Come on, baby! Yeah! Yeah!" Doing his thing, and his smiles, and it's crazy. And everyone is pissed because this was supposed to be Jericho's first match in a year and a half. And all he does is the same bullshit he's been doing and tags out and leaves. So this leaves Punk and Bryan out there by themselves for a little bit. Foley ends up coming out. Says that he has permission from John Laurinaitis to insert himself into the match, and does so. This match ends up with Dave Otunga taking a dirty, nasty ball sock, Mr. Socko in the mouth for the 3, which brings out John Laurinaitis, who says that he actually never gave Foley permission to be in the match, reverses the decision, and then, like I said before, Promo 101, kids. All you guys in FCW, all you guys in WWE, TNA, Promo 101. Listen to this.
We put our card. No, shut your mouth. You're going to listen to me. You're going to man up. You're going to take your balls out of your purse right now. We're going to lay our cards on the table. You don't like me, but it has nothing to do with who I am. And if I could be your psychologist for a moment, it has everything to do with who you are not. See, the people have no idea who you are. That's because when you were a competitor in sports entertainment, as you like to call it, you had the look, but oh boy, did you ever suck. And that must have been really, really difficult, Johnny. Your brother being one half of the legendary Road Warriors, and you never amounting to much more than road kill. See, you were boring, you weren't charismatic, you were vanilla. That's right, boring. And it kills you. It kills you that you never made it to this stage, the WWE, as a competitor. So you traded in your lame-ass tights for your equally lame-ass suit. You went from somebody who just sucked to somebody who just sucked up. And now that you're your corporate yes man, you take your eyes and you look at a guy like me and you can't stand the fact that the last year of my career, I've achieved more than you have in your entire life. You know what? I don't even know why I'm screaming. You just don't have an original thought in your body. I mean, and you're gonna screw me at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view? Well, better men have tried and better men have failed. But you're gonna try to screw me based on one thing. It's your pure jealousy of who I am and where I come from, and the fact that I am the WWE champion. I'm the man. And you can't stand it. So you're gonna screw me at the Royal Rumble. Let me tell you something, Johnny. Doesn't matter what you do to me in my championship match, because coming out of it, I'll still be better than you. And I'll have all these people doing something that you wished your entire career they did. I'll have them talking about you. You see, because if you screw me, I'm not gonna hit you with the GTS. I'm not gonna put you to sleep. I'm not gonna lock you in the Anaconda Vice. But I'm gonna have these people talking about you for sure. Because if you screw me, they're going to be talking about how Mr. John Laurinaitis, Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and interim Raw General Manager, looks like he went through a meat grinder because CM Punk just kicked his pathetic ass. You're pathetic.
But it doesn't end there. Punk leaves the ring, heads to the back. Laurinaitis begins a rant on how he's been disrespected and he's tired of being bullied and pushed around. Foley demands to know whether or not Laurinaitis is going to screw over Punk in the title match at the Royal Rumble. Laurinaitis is the ref. Foley demands an answer. Laurinaitis tells him, "You're damn right that he will screw him," and proceeds to hit Foley with a horrible microphone punch that just looks terrible, looks weak. And I keep reading all these great things about Laurinaitis' career in Japan, and I guess I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos because I just don't buy it right now. But I think he's like on the PWI top 500 of all time. He's like number 200 something, John Laurinaitis. So it's pretty interesting. So that's your Raw. You know, and since we are so close to the Royal Rumble, you know, my next show won't come out till after the Rumble. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about maybe some possible surprise entrants or who I think is going to win. As far as surprises, I'm really hoping for Rob Van Dam. I mean, I know his contract isn't up until March with TNA, but I'm really hoping that he is going to pull a Kevin Nash this year and go to Dixie and ask for his release so he can make the Rumble. So, I mean, she's got a really soft heart, which is a giant fault of hers, but it would really help out the WWE in this Royal Rumble. I'd love to see Rob back in the WWE. And I was also thinking the other day, if everyone is eligible, like they're saying, I know logic doesn't always take precedence in the Rumble, but you figure, I don't know how they're going to do a Rumble without Cena. Even though Cena's fighting The Rock at WrestleMania, it's kind of a moot point to put Cena in the Rumble match. But I was thinking, what if The Rock shows up as a surprise? I think that would be pretty cool. And we could get the two of them to go at it a little bit in the Rumble. Because, frankly, Rock needs to stop making some appearances on TV leading up to WrestleMania. Just making one or two Raws before Mania isn't really going to cut it for the build for this match. I'd also like to see The Undertaker show up again. I think at this stage in his career, we're past the point of needing to announce his return or do these videos. I think at this stage, if he just shows up in the Rumble, it'll do just fine. I don't think they need to advertise it. I think, you know, whatever number he comes out as, the buzzer goes off, the lights go down, lights come back up, Undertaker's in the ring. That would be perfect for me. Other than that, I can't see anyone outside of, I mean, I know Nash has said on Twitter that he's not going to be in the Rumble, but it's not like we haven't known pro wrestlers to work the internet before. So I'm thinking probably Nash, Triple H maybe. I don't know who else I could really bring back. There's not really, it's not like the days of when WCW was around where guys could just show up, you know. As far as who's going to win it, I think all signs point to Jericho. It could be Orton, but I'm going to officially go with Jericho, who will end up going against Punk at WrestleMania. And I think Orton, unfortunately, is probably going to go to Elimination Chamber and win to earn the slot to go for the world title at Mania against Daniel Bryan. So, yeah, looking forward to another hot Randy Orton title reign. Impact! And here's your rapid fire TNA Impact report. We start off James Storm cutting a promo in the ring about his number one contender slot to face Bobby Roode at the next pay-per-view. Jeff Hardy interrupts, says that no one else is getting a shot until he gets one more shot because he got screwed over 2 times. Roode comes out, says that no one is the number one contender because James Storm won a match to become the number one contender to the winner of last week's Bobby Roode Jeff Hardy match, to which there was no decision. So therefore, James Storm is now the number one contender to nothing. It's kind of funny how he played it out. Sting comes out and decides to make a number one contenders match for tonight. Jeff Hardy versus James Storm. And I just wanted to comment on this. I like James Storm in the main event scene. He's a really nice addition to the main event scene. It's about time that they start making some different guys, stars, and make them reputable main event players. Angle is only going to last so much longer. Sting probably isn't going to wrestle too much. And other than that, I mean, they kind of dropped the ball with AJ. They elevated Bobby Roode, and I was really worried about what they were going to do with Storm. I thought he was going to get lost in the mix through this whole thing. But, good job TNA for something. We're backstage. Angelina Love challenges Eric Young to a match due to last week's shenanigans. Next segment, we have AJ Styles versus Gunner. Gunner goes over due to interference from Kaz and Daniels. And Kazarian's still conflicted. Daniels has some kind of power over him. It hasn't come out yet what the reason for Kazarian's somewhat heel turn has been. Gunner tries for the pile driver on the cement on AJ. AJ escapes and runs through the crowd. And then we go backstage to find Magnus and Samoa Joe in a confrontation with Crimson and Morgan, both just kind of talking smack about, the match tonight between Magnus and Crimson. And then we find backstage Bully Ray demands a title shot from Sting. Sting basically flat out says no. Then we're in the ring. Magnus versus Crimson. Crimson goes over with the Red Sky, which I believe used to be called the Sky High. I think it was a D'Lo Brown move. So that makes sense. D'Lo's an agent there. Joe comes in for an attack. That's all I have written down here. So let's see. Yet another backstage. I hate all the backstage segments in TNA. I know they're on the Universal Studio a lot, but you get all these weird segments in the back, and there's a big Bellator Fighting Championship banner out back, and Eric Young is wondering if he could, make it in the Bellator fights, and then this woman walks by who's supposedly the caterer, and we know she's the caterer. They want to let you know she's the caterer because she's carrying a slotted spoon. This woman is just walking around with a slotted spoon. That says caterer. It's like that awful segment they had last year with, I think, the same lady with the spoon, and then there was the guy in a wheelchair, and it was just terrible. So Young's wondering about the Bellator Championship. Calls the caterer Cyborg. He says, "I know it's you, Cyborg," which is great. ODB comes along to talk to Eric Young about his match coming up with Angelina Love and says, "Hey, you gonna feed her a hot dog tonight? You gonna feed that skinny bitch a hot dog? Seriously?" Oh, ODB. Then we get Bischoff and Son recap of the hot feud between Eric Bischoff and Garrett Bischoff. And we get what seems to be like a 27-minute long Garrett Bischoff workout video, complete with him mowing down all the workout partners that Kurt Angle went in and beat the crap out of a few weeks ago. Like, honestly, F my life with this. This is reminiscent of when Eric Watts came to WCW. He was terrible, but his dad, Bill Watts, was, high up in the office at the time. So it's just like, and it's kind of like when Dustin Rhodes came around too. I mean, he ended up being Goldust, ended up being good as that character, but Dustin sucks. Eric Watts sucked, and Garrett Bischoff sucks. He has no business in the ring. And they're continuing the whole storyline where he tells his dad, "You're going to be shocked when you find out who's training me." So it's going to be Hogan. I heard that Hogan did go over to England for the Impact tapings. So we'll be seeing that very shortly. In the back dressing room, Madison Rain's freaking out to Gail Kim about her cage match later on, which is actually up next. So we got Knockouts cage match. Mickie James versus Madison Rain. It was a decent enough match. It went through a commercial break. It went about 8 minutes, which is about 7 times longer than any Divas match ever goes. Mickie He's a true pro. Mickey actually made Madison look pretty good in this match. Mickey wins with her sustained up in the air DDT. And then in the back we find Austin Aries, where he proceeds to talk about what he's going to talk about. Yeah, silence. No comment on that. I like Aries. He's a good character. Are they using him right? Are they using the X Division right? I don't think so. I think putting weight limits on it really takes away from the division. And he actually comments on that and says, you know, any competition, maybe we need to get rid of the weight limits. Good for you, sir. Then in the back, we see Mickie James celebrates with Tara and Velvet Sky in the back. Then we get a clip of Jeff Hardy whining about how he got screwed at Genesis. Dude, you lost, whatever. You honestly didn't deserve to be in the match to begin with. You're lucky you have a job. I was a big Jeff Hardy fan. I like Jeff, but I think it's too soon to have him back in the main event slot after what happened last year. That's just me personally. So we go to the ring. We see Austin Aries in the ring to cut a promo. He wants competition. And then we hear the Motor City Machine Guns music. Alex Shelley is back. Says he's sick of sitting on the sidelines waiting for Chris Sabin to heal up. It's his time to get back in the ring. Says he's also sick of having a douchebag for a champion in his division. I love how douchebag is like the new acceptable word on television. That's just fantastic. Basically, Aries says, all right, you know, you haven't beaten anybody. You haven't had any matches. You got to earn your title shot. If you beat one guy, I'll give you a title shot. In the back, we find ODB talking to a photographer. Winter jumps her. We get a backstage brawl, including Winter whipping her with her belt. And up next is this 5-star Angelina Love versus Eric Young match. Basically, Eric Young just spends the first 3 minutes or so messing with the ref, trying to lock up, which leads to an Angelina Love ball shot to Eric Young, which brings out the double team of Angelina and Winter on Eric Young, which brings out ODB, who clears the ring and proceeds to make out with Eric Young in the ring. Oh, romance angles. In the back, Storm says he wants to prove that he can be the champ. And then we get our main event, number one contenders match, Jeff Hardy versus James Storm. And can we stop with the ads in the introductions again? We don't need 5-hour energy ads in the actual introduction from the ring announcer. And I feel like they're either setting up a triple threat or a 4-way for the next pay-per-view. Bully Ray ends up coming down and interferes with a chain, hits both guys. The ref is knocked down, hits both guys with the chain. Sting comes out with his bat to chase him off. Then Rude comes out of the crowd just as James Storm is starting to get up, hits Storm with the belt. Both Storm and Hardy are laid out, and the match is declared a no contest. So once again, this is how many weeks in a row TNA finishes up their show with a no contest. I don't know why this is their favorite little thing. The favorite thing for a while was stipulation matches. You know, no nonsensical ladder matches for no reason and stuff like that. But now the favorite thing is the no finish. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a 4-way at the next pay-per-view with Rude defending against Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, and James Storm. That is your Impact for this week. And now it's time for Sin City SmackDown. And SmackDown comes to you this week live on tape, of course, from where else but Las Vegas. It's Sin City SmackDown. When we start out, we get a little video package recapping the murder of AJ Lee, which leads us to Daniel Bryan heading to the ring to cut a promo on the Big Show. Says that he has great admiration for AJ and how she's handling her injuries. Proceeds to say that AJ has a cervical sprain. Okay. So that means that her... Never mind. And he basically just tells the Big Show because of last week's actions that he should just quit. I'm just loving Daniel Bryan as a heel. He's just getting better and better every week. It just goes to show that they misused this guy for the first year or so he was there. But now he's really starting to shine. I'm liking it. We go backstage. Of course, backstage there has to be gambling and illegal card games. There's a craps table. We see Santino Marella and Alicia Fox and a couple other people I really didn't get a good look at, and they're definitely insequential. More Teddy Long and Oksana with the roulette wheel. In comes Cody to spin the wheel for his match later on. He spins it and it almost lands on strange bedfellows, which just makes you wonder how gimmicked the wheel is or not. Anyway, it lands on Player's Choice, which means that he gets to pick his opponent, and he says, I pick that guy. And he points, and it looks like he's pointing to Ezekiel Jackson. And I really don't want to see Ezekiel Jackson wrestle ever again, to be honest with you. But he says, no, that guy. And then we see Santino. And we find out that it's not really Santino. It's Hornswoggle he's pointing at. Cody picks Hornswoggle for his opponent. It's just... So... We come back from break and we have our Cody vs. Hornswoggle match. Hornswoggle comes to the ring. Cody comes down before Hornswoggle can even get in the ring, attacks him, which gives us a run-in from Justin Gabriel, who saves Hornswoggle. And he, says to Cody, why don't you pick on someone your own size? Why don't you pick on someone like me? He says, really? That's who you pick? He's like, why don't you fight me, or would you rather have a lingerie match or a Las Vegas Showgirls match, he says. So, Cody agrees, but make sure to say that it's non-title. This is hilarious. I love Cody. And we get this little response from Michael Cole.
Non-title?
Well, come on, Booker. You got to give it to Cody. At least he's accepting the match.
Oh,
you
come
don't
on.
expect him to put the championship on the line against a guy who hasn't earned it.
That's a true champion for you right there. Cody Rhodes, he's a true champion, right?
Booker, Justin Gabriel hasn't won a match in a year. I mean, how does he deserve an Intercontinental Championship match tonight? Please.
I hate Michael Cole, but it's funny because it's true. Gabriel, pretty decent in the ring, but he's just another one with a terrible, terrible personality, a horrible character like Orton. It's just, I mean, if he had a match with Orton, I think the universe might implode. Anyway, we get Cody goes over with the Crossroads, and I smell a possible IC title match at the Rumble for Justin Gabriel. So, I don't think the belt's ready to be downgraded again just yet. I think it needs to stay on Cody for a while. We go backstage, and we find Mark Henry getting ready to spin the wheel for his world title match with Daniel Bryan later on tonight. And I'm sorry, why is everything Mark Henry does right now awesome? I was one of the biggest Mark Henry haters for years, and now he's just, I hate to even say that he's great, but he is. So this is a little interaction between Teddy Long and Mark Henry for the roulette wheel.
Mark, I brought you in here so you could spin the wheel to see what type of match you're going to have tonight for the world title.
I can't believe you're doing this. Sin City SmackDown? That's gotta be the worst concept I ever heard.
What?
What you mean, what? It's your fault that AJ got put in harm's way.
Now you know that's
And
not true.
Yes, it is. And tonight, you putting Daniel Bryan in harm's way.
Okay, Mark. Just spin the wheel.
Who you talking to? You spin the wheel. It's your idea.
Did Henry almost say it's your goddamn idea? I think so. But Mark Henry's he's hilarious. I want to hear Henry on commentary again. That was great. So anyway, we spin the wheel. Ends up being a lumberjack match. Henry says he's cool with it, and I promise nothing could possibly go wrong having a lumberjack match this close to the Royal Rumble. I'm sure that nothing is going to happen later. Anyway, we come back from break. We get a recap of the House Show Tag Title Change, where Epico and Primo won the belts. And we find out that Epico and Primo will have a tag team tornado match with the Usos. A very underused team, and hopefully they're going to... I mean, there's no other team. I guess they're going to have to use them. They have two teams. So... and this is great. This is annoys me endlessly about the announced teams, especially on SmackDown, how they don't really know the product. It's a non-title match. Josh Matthews proceeds to ask the other two guys at the broadcast table, you know, can the Usos win the titles tonight? It's a non-title match. It's like when Michael Cole said that Kelly was trying to regain the Divas title the first time she won it. It's just awful. Know your product, guys. You're getting paid enough, you know? Anyway, Primo wins the match with the backstabber. Not really going to go too much into it. We get reminded that tonight we have Sheamus versus Wade Barrett later on. And we get a Royal Rumble recap from 2011, just last year, where Alberto Del Rio won in Boston with yours truly and my lovely wife in attendance. I had the good fortune to be there. Boston's such a great, great wrestling city. I'm very lucky that they come around so often. Anyway, we go backstage, and we how Oksana loves to pull and yank on things, such as slot machines. Sheamus comes in to spin, and Teddy asks her to yank, spin. This whole, double entendre thing that's been going on, it seems like 7 months now with the two of them. It's obviously just going to lead to another heart attack like the Crystal Marshall thing a few years ago, but it needs to end. So Sheamus ends up with a tables match versus Wade Barrett for later tonight. And then we find out coming up next, we'll have a dance-off. That's right, folks, a dance-off between Brodus Clay and Vicky Guerrero. Why? That's just me dying a little inside. So anyway, Brodus comes out. It's official, folks. The Funkasaurus is over with the crowd. He is getting some pretty serious cheers. I just don't know how long they can keep this character going for. But so Vicky comes out and says she is about to shake her thing, and I'm thinking, Vicky, please don't shake anything. Please, for the love of everything good and holy, don't shake a single thing. She's out there in her gross hot pants. She definitely uses the term for shizzle. She begins to dance, and I swear that Vicky's doing the Elaine from Seinfeld. There's no doubt about it. She definitely busts out the Elaine to a chorus of boos, per usual. How is Vicky Guerrero the #1 heel in the company? and has been for years. I don't understand. Character development, WWE. Brodus begins his dance, and all I have in my notes is that he shakes and ripples because he's gross fat in his nasty little singlet. Anyway, Brodus wins the dance off. William Regal comes out and calls Vicky a buxom wench. I love Regal. I wish he had been world champion. He would have been great. Clay proceeds to call Regal a funky chicken, but he says it so fast. I thought he said something totally different, like a funky chicken. So Regal dances. In the middle of his dance, Brodus hits his funky crossbody. He actually gets a few boos for taking out Regal. So it goes to show the level of respect the fans have for Mr. Regal over there. I always liked Regal. And shame on you, Brodus, for fat splashing this man. But he gets up and says, "Oh, my bad," and gets some cheers and laughter. So the fans aren't that mad at him. We come back from break, and we have our tables match, Wade Barrett versus Sheamus. And honestly, I like the two of these guys together. I like their matches. It keeps coming back around every couple of months or so. They end up running into each other. And I think that they could definitely book this as a long-time feud for the two of these. Kind of like not on the level of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, but just these two guys that are just rivals for their entire careers almost, and they have to keep bumping into each other and going through each other to get to different positions in the company. Let's see, Sheamus is gonna crush somebody's windpipe with those chest forearm smashes of his that he does when he has the guy bent over backwards over the top rope. They keep mentioning Orton, which is scaring me. I really, 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 really don't want Orton to win the Royal Rumble. Effing Jinder Mahal comes out, causes a distraction. Sheamus ends up through the corner table. Barrett wins. Mahal is working over Sheamus. Sheamus gets up, puts Mahal through a table, and Mahal is dead. So Sheamus basically no-sells his previous table shot where Barrett put him through the table, because he pretty much stands right up and puts Jinder through a table and acts like nothing ever happened. Continuity. So we come back from break. We have yet another Ted DiBiase versus Hunico match. This needs to end. DiBiase's starting to get over. He's getting some cheers. I've mentioned it before, but it's building. He's definitely looking better in the ring. Hunico's good too. He's just, I don't like his drug dealer gimmick. Anyway, we go to the Tron, and Teddy Long spins the wheel for their match. It becomes a flag match. So, racism. And I have here, DiBiase before the match gets one of those little, talking head box promos. I don't like those things. It was cool when they brought it back for the old school Raw, because that's what we had when we were kids, with Wrestling Challenge and Superstars back then. That's just the way it was. Now it doesn't really fit today's product. Anyway, there's a nice Sunset Powerbomb. DiBiase wins. Gets his flag. We get a little bit of, I almost forgot to mention, we get a little bit of flag match trivia from Josh Matthews.
So here we go with the traditional flag match, guys, and it's been a long time since we've seen one of these matchups here in WWE.
I actually think this is the first flag match in the history of Friday Night SmackDown.
Really?
Let me tell you something.
So you just had that at your fingertips, not knowing what type of match it was going to be until 10 seconds ago.
No, I'm a historian and a WWE aficionado, so I sort of know everything that goes on around here.
We come back from break. We get the Raw rebound. And then backstage, we have Teddy Long, who tells Drew, I told you. you're on thin ice around here, and you get paid a lot of money and you're not producing. I gotta let you go, player. So Teddy fires Drew, but Santino steps in to give him another shot. And I said it before, I don't care what anyone says. I love Santino.
Teddy Door? Mr. Teddy Dorlon? As your assistant, I would like to ask you to please reconsider.
What?
You see, 2 weeks ago, I beat Drew McIntosh, and many people are saying this was a lucky victory.
People are saying that.
I do not like this for 1 second, man. So I would like the opportunity to prove it was not luck. So let's allow Drew McIntosh to double down so I can show him the snake eyes. And I'm gonna give him the craps. It's Vegas, baby. Come on.
It makes sense to you. It don't make sense.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna give you one more chance.
Thank you, Ted.
All right, tell you what,
You won't
players.
regret it.
All right, let's see what kind of match you're gonna have. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
I'll spin it. Here we go, Ted.
It's so suspenseful. Can't even wait.
All right, there you have it. Blindfold match.
Love it. Blindfold match, Teddy. Thank you for the opportunity. You will not regret it. And I'll see you out there, Santino.
See me out there. It's a blindfold match. He's gonna see nothing. I'm gonna prepare myself. I'm gonna get ready.
Hey, Santino. The wrong way.
It's not easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Santino's great. I know, actually, Drew was actually pretty good at this, too. If you hear him in the back when Santino's saying what's going to happen, he's like, yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of funny. I think Drew's going to end up turning face pretty soon. I had an awful idea that what if Drew McIntyre, who's supposed to be fired, wins the Royal Rumble? Could you even imagine? But there's no way. But that, he could be a dark horse, you never know. They love to do the unexpected. He is the chosen one after all. Anyway, so we go down into the hall and we see Mark Henry's warming up for his match later. We come back from break, and it's our blindfold match, Santino versus Drew McIntyre. And this was cute. Santino even pulls a little blindfold out of his singlet, and he blindfolds the Cobra. He has his little Cobra sleeve on, and he blindfolds the Cobra for the match. It's pretty funny. And this is great. Booker says, I always hated being in these matches. When was there ever... There was one other blindfold match in history that I know of. It was WrestleMania 7 with Jake Roberts and Rick Martel. Booker always says, I hated being in these... He's like the brain. He's like a fountain of misinformation at times. Love him in the ring. Hate him on the announce table. Anyway, we get this awful spot. So both guys are blindfolded. They end up spilling out of the ring to the floor. Drew is looking for Santino. Goes for a clothesline. And clotheslines the bejesus out of the ring post. I swear that this kid's arm is broken at this point. The thud and the smack was sickening. I can't believe. Why would you swing that hard going for the ring post? It was amazing. He definitely I don't think he had to do any work selling the arm for the rest of the match. I think he came really close to breaking the thing. We find out later on, he comes out for the Lumberjack match. I think he's okay, but still, it could be fractured, who knows. But if you see it, if you didn't, YouTube it and go back and look. It's gross. A little cutesy finish here. So, the Cobra loses its blindfold, which it enables Santino to hit with the Cobra. It's like trying to say that both guys are blindfolded, but the Cobra's not, so the Cobra was able to see and connect with Drew. Santino wins. And then we're getting ready for our Lumberjack match. We come back from break. We find out that next week is the return of Randy Orton. I'm not ready. I'm all set. I swear, if he wins the Rumble, I think it's going to be Orton and Jericho, the last two guys. I was saying before, part of my prediction, I think that I could see Jericho, winning the Rumble by eliminating Orton last as kind of a payback for the whole punt thing that took him out. And this way they don't have to book unnecessary Orton versus Jericho feud. So anyway, I'm not looking forward to that. I think they might end up holding this off so Orton can be a surprise in the Rumble. Which is what they should have done anyway. Because I get a bad... I know they always produce surprises, but I have a bad feeling it's going to be lacking this year. So here we go. We have our world title match, which will be Lumberjack match. Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry. Now, this is interesting. This is the first time Bryan ends up on the floor. The Lumberjacks don't attack him. So I'm a little confused because the Lumberjacks would basically always attack whoever was out there. And again, with I was talking earlier about the believability. Why is everyone always out ringside in their tights with no shirt? Why? Why wouldn't somebody just come down in like at least a t-shirt? It's just one of those things that really gets to me. So the match breaks down. We get a Bryan beatdown by the Lumberjacks on the outside. We get a Mark Henry beatdown on the outside. Mark Henry proceeds to throw off 15 guys off to the sides like bowling pins. And it's a little unbelievable. I know he's the world's strongest man, but come on, guys. Anyway, Henry gets back in the ring. The Lumberjacks follow. We get this. Sometimes Booker's funny. I love little sound bites from Booker. We get this one.
He's kicking up.
And wait, Barry!
Oh, now Barry
in the ring! Cody Rhodes in the ring!
Daniel Bryan provoking the Lumberjacks, and look at this!
Jackson and DiBiase as well!
And now Mark Henry's in.
Did you see that?
Let me tell you, this is the first right here where the Lumberjacks have totally lost their cool.
These are moments where I love Booker on commentary. I just wish he knew what the hell a sidewalk slam was. So while this is going on, right, Henry is getting beat down. This little shit, Daniel Bryan, who's become this little wormy world champion like Kurt Angle used to be, slinks out of the ring, grabs the belt, and proceeds to leave. He walks up the ramp. He's gone. He's done. He just leaves. He comes through the curtain out back and immediately bumps into Teddy Long, who's asking him what's going on. And Daniel Bryan's like, "What do you mean what's going on? You tell me what's going on." I get to defend against these huge guys. And now I have a lumberjack match, and all this is going on. And he tells him, proceeds to tell him that at the Rumble he's going to defend in a triple threat cage match against Mark Henry and Big Show. And he's just pissed. And this is how SmackDown ends. So, good things coming. I think it's going to be a good Rumble. I'm wicked excited. Like I said before, I always love the Rumble. And this is basically going to set up WrestleMania. I mean, pretty much the only thing that I think the whole WrestleMania card is hinging on one thing. And that's whether or not they want Cena Rock to be for the title. It doesn't need to be, but they might decide last minute to do it. I hope they don't, because it's going to screw up the entire rest of the card. So anyway, that's the week in review for this week. Just a little housekeeping. The website's still under construction. I'm still trying to figure out iTunes right now, so be patient with me, guys, please. Thanks for listening. If you want to check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/wrestlingsforreal with a 4, number 4. Also on Twitter, @wrestlingsforreal. And YouTube, Wrestling's for Real. That's where I'll be posting the show for right now. So thanks a lot for listening, guys. Thanks for the support. You guys have a good week. Enjoy the Rumble.
The immortal Hulk Hogan will be one of 30 men in a Royal Rumble, as will this man, standing by with manager Paul Bear. Let's hear from The Undertaker.
Oh, Undertaker, I've been sitting all alone in the darkness of my funeral parlor, thinking about mass burials, all the mass burials down through history. I wish I could have been there, but there's one ahead that I will attend. Oh, yes, 29 bodies, 29 souls, and you, Undertaker, can present them to me one by one. And with each one, you'll get closer and closer to your championship.
My sole purpose in this lifeless world is to collect the souls of the unfortunate people that cross me. Coming soon, there will be 29 bodies at my feet, and I'll stand alone at the top.
With comments, the scene is set for the first big outing of 1992. You may want to circle January the 19th on your calendar, when 30 of the greatest superstars of the World Wrestling Federation congregate in a competition where it's every man for himself, no allies, only enemies, friend versus friend, foe against foe. However, at this Royal Rumble, it's going to be a little different. Not only will the winner get the green, but the winner will get the gold, the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt.